Hi, Mystery Recapped here. Today, I'm going to explain a Polish cult comedy science fiction film called Sex Misja. Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. In 1991, two common men named Max Paradise and Albert Starsky volunteer for the first human hibernation experiment. Max is looking for adventure in his life and some time away from his wife and daughter, while Albert is a biologist who wants to be known for something great. Hence, they are ready to go into hibernation pods created by Professor Victor Kupelwieser. The professor is a Nobel Prize laureate who has successfully hibernated a chimpanzee for half a year, so the men believe they will be safe. The experiment is considered a revolutionary event that is about to change the course of human history. In the official announcement of the initiation of the experiment, it is said that the hibernation is scheduled to last for 3 years. Max and Albert are finally put into the pods, as the world watches in anticipation. Why the world is so excited to see two men go to sleep is anyone's best guess. However, instead of being awakened 3 years later, in 1994, as planned, they wake up in the year 2044. They have been in the pod for 53 years, but haven't aged a day. Unaware of this, when the two wake up, they believe that they are in a facility following their post-hibernation checkup. They are joyful as they anticipate fame and money for their bravery. The facility keeps them in confinement for some days as they are taken care of by women. As time goes by, the two start suspecting why they haven't seen a single man since they woke up. One of their caretakers is named Lamia Reno. She keeps an eye on the two through cameras and observes them all day. On the third day, they explicitly ask to meet Professor Kupelwieser, but are informed by Lamia and Dr. Berna that Kupelwieser doesn't exist. They explain to the guys that a nuclear war broke out several years ago, which caused all males of the world to go extinct. The current date is the 8th of March 2044, meaning that the guys are 86 years old. Max and Albert refuse to believe this and assume that they are being tested. They also realize that the room they are staying in has no windows and try to leave through the door, only to receive an electric shock. At night, the men are distressed and still confused. Lamia senses their confusion and talks to them through a microphone fitted in their room. She reveals that their society reproduces without males through a process called parthenogenesis. The women suppress their sexual urges by taking a mandatory drug, so there is no need for men altogether. While watching the television, Max sees that women frequently walk around naked because of the absence of men. He gets an idea to take advantage of their situation and get with as many women as possible because there are no male competitors. So, during a briefing, Max kisses Lamia to test the waters. She furiously accuses him of sexual assault and knocks him down easily. A few days later, Max and Albert are summoned by the supreme leader of the women, Her Excellency. They are taken to a bio-sanctuary where post-war animals and trees are preserved. During the meeting, they ask what exactly happened to mankind and how did men go extinct. The women explain that the extinction was men's own fault. In the war, Dr. Kupelwieser invented an agent called the M-bomb. The bomb was supposed to temporarily paralyze male genes that he planned to use as a bioweapon. But due to an oversight, it destroyed male genes permanently, causing the extinction of male species. Max offers to serve as reproducers to restore the male population and change the society back to how it was. However, the women do not wish the old order to return because they have been taught that men terrorized and enslaved them back in the day. After the meeting, the guys are taken back to confinement, but Lamia cannot get the thought of Max out of her head. The kiss has caused her drug-inhibited passions to resurface. Due to her internal feelings, she goes on a search for the oldest living woman to find out anything she can about the men before the war. She finds 74-year-old Julia and shows her a video of Max and Albert showering. Seeing the guys naked reminds Julia of her fiancé. According to her, the world with both sexes should be restored. Lamia leaves with a new way to look at life after the meeting. Meanwhile, as Max and Albert stay in confinement, they grow distressed. Albert sees wires on their room's floor and devises a plan to escape by damaging the electric power grid. They put their plan into action the next day and easily succeed. While running around, they end up in a room where little girls are being taught how to interact with men, if they were ever to come in contact with them. Soon, the guys are caught and are locked up again. After the commotion, the women are furious, but they still provide Max and Albert a chance to redeem themselves. They want the guys to undergo sex reassignment surgery and turn into women to be accepted by society. When they refuse, the ceiling above the room opens, showing a huge assembly of women who are to determine their fate. The hearing starts and goes on for a long time as the assembly blames men for oppression, plus virtually all evil and vices, and praises their new society. They even claim that the greatest scientists, such as Copernicus, Einstein, and Pincus, were, in fact, women. When Max and Albert are taken away, the assembly votes on whether the men should undergo forced naturalization or be liquidated. Lamia thinks she should have a say in the matter because she is the one who dug the hibernation pod and found them. However, voting takes place and naturalization is passed by a margin of only one vote. As the discussion is taking place, the men escape again, wandering through the facility and getting lost every few minutes. All the women they encounter have never seen a man before, so they mistake the two for fellow sisters. Max is distracted on the way by naked girls swimming in an aquarium. After that, the men escape down a waste chute, where they discover a group of women singing, dancing, and having fun. Some of them are also engaging in lesbian relations, which fascinates Max. It turns out that the group consists of rebellious hippies who do not want to follow Her Excellency's order. They mistake Max and Albert for government spies. Soon, the police force comes looking for them, and they manage to escape, only to be caught by Lamia once again. She tells them that the facility they are living in is underground, and takes them to the entrance. Then, using a periscope, they watch the current condition of the surface of the Earth. It is a dark, rocky landscape above ground that has high levels of Kupelweiser radiation, a side effect of the M-bomb. She shows them the reality of the situation, so they will quit trying to escape. The officials praise her for her intelligence, but do not provide her full authority over the men, which devastates Lamia. Instead, Max and Albert are handed to an old doctor named Yonda. She decides that the men's organs will be extracted for transplantation, and their remains will be tested for possible use as a food source due to a growing protein shortage. When Max is on the hospital bed, it is revealed that Yonda is actually his daughter, who now hates him because he abandoned her mother when she was little. Both men are strapped to the hospital bed, being prepared for the surgery when Lamia comes to their aid. She helps them escape as revenge for the officials taking the men. Shortly after escaping, Albert passes out in the elevator from the anesthetic given to him. As Lamia tries to revive him, he dreams that he's in 1994, and the process of hibernation has successfully finished. After he comes back to his senses, they rush to the periscope room, planning to escape to the surface despite the radiation. Lamia threatens the guards to give her the code to activate a capsule that will take them to the surface, but the guards claim they do not know it. In the meantime, Max and Albert quickly change into protective suits. The guards claim that only Her Excellency knows the password, which makes the three believe they are about to be caught. Enraged, Max curses, saying, "Your mother's a whore," and to the surprise of all present, the capsule is activated. Lamia also changes into another protective suit, and the three finally make it to the surface. While exploring it, Max walks a few steps and suddenly bumps against something that seems to be an invisible barrier. He takes out a knife and cuts the fabric of the barrier, revealing daylight on the other side. They all go through the hole and, to their utmost surprise, find themselves on a beach. The area that was visible with the periscope was surrounded by a small circular tent-like structure with the barren landscape panorama painted on the inside of the canvas. The three explore their surroundings and eventually reach a forest. The guys are joyful to finally see a sight of their old lives. However, the suits start running out of oxygen. Suddenly, Max shouts with joy and throws away his suit, pointing upwards to a flying stork. According to him, if the bird can breathe, it means they can too. They take their suits off and are whooshed with fresh oxygen. A while later, they come across a fully furnished cozy villa, full of fresh food and modern technology. They are confused about who it belongs to, but do not question the matter further. Instead, the three enjoy a delicious meal in the garden. Meanwhile, back in the facility, Lamia's co-worker named Emma gets in a suit and comes out looking for the three. Since there is only one suit left, the others wish her luck and stay back. She also finds out that the world outside is completely different than what they had thought. Eventually, she finds Lamia, Max, and Albert eating in the garden and points her weapon at them. But she faints due to the lack of oxygen. Albert removes her helmet and performs CPR on her. He carries her inside the villa and starts to remove her suit. She quickly regains consciousness and feels attracted towards Albert. Max, on the other hand, goes with Lamia to a bedroom and explains to her what mating is. At last, both couples have intercourse. Later, the girls are in the bath while the men are resting in the living room. Max and Albert hear a noise and hide, assuming it is the owner of the house. A few seconds later, Her Excellency emerges from an elevator hidden within a closet. Max attacks her, demanding answers. During the ensuing fight, Her Excellency's breasts and hair are stripped, revealing that he is actually a male in disguise. Her Excellency finally tells the men his life story. Just after the war, when the League of Women took power, he was 4 years old. The few boys remaining were naturalized into girls, but he was hidden by his mother. He joined the League to seem more feminine, and eventually was elected as Her Excellency. He wanted to keep the women confined inside the facility and rule over them, so he exaggerated the radiation level in order to keep them under control. Max and Albert make a deal with Her Excellency, claiming that they will not reveal his true identity if they are allowed to stay in the home with Lamia and Emma. Her Excellency accepts the offer. In the following scene, Max and Albert are in the family's incubation chamber, disguised as laboratory workers. They add male gametes to incubation flasks in order to restore the male sex. Several months later, when the babies are finally developed, a nurse is horrified to see a male infant. Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on notifications. Thank you for watching.